Hello, if you subscribe to our channel, you would have seen Denise got a beautiful bull elk this year. Her first elk, so we're really excited for her. And I'm gonna do a Euro mount for her for our living room. We sometimes get people to do it for us, but I got a beautiful Sunday with nothing really on the schedule, so I'm gonna walk you through how I do it. I've taken the majority of the meat off, obviously the eyeballs, the lower jaw. I actually did pick out most of the brain already from the back end of the elk and got it as clean as I could. Now I did salt this head, and only because we had a long ways to travel home, and I was trying to keep the smell and the flies and whatever else off it. So your first boil is obviously your most important boil, as it takes the most of the meat off the skull. So the first boil will probably be a couple hours. I like to run it at about 180 degrees. You don't want to get it too hot, you don't want it boiling over. So try to hold it around 180, 185 degrees. A pot this size, I add a box of baking soda, which is going to help break down the meat and the fats in the skull, as well as I add some Dawn detergent. There's no real science to it. I just kind of put a bunch in. Again, just helps speed up the process, and the nice thing is it gives it a bit of a nice smell too while you're doing it. As it happens, sometimes the skulls are too large for the bucket. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cover that piece of the skull with a rag, which will absorb a bunch of the steam and a bunch of the moisture, and will essentially have the same effect, just might take a bit longer. And there we have it. Now we wait probably 2 to 3 hours, I would think. And as long as Denise doesn't figure out where her hand towels are, otherwise I'll be the next one in this bucket, I'm sure. In about 3 hours, we've boiled off a good portion of the meat. So now we're going to go to the next step, which is pressure wash. We're going to pressure wash the head, try to blow as much of the leftovers off that we can before we do the final boil. The meat on the back of the head is taking a bit more time because it wasn't submersed, so it does take a little longer, but the majority did come off. I sit here now and do a little bit of trimming myself as much as I can before the last boil. There is this cartilage inside here that if you use a pair of pliers will come out quite easily and will be cleaned right out. So what I like to do right here on either side is the ear canal. And if you wedge your screwdriver in there, you can pop it right out, and it allows you more access to get all the stuff out of the brain cavity. So it gives you another access hole to get your knife in and get some more of that stuff out before the final boil. So there you have it. We've got the last of the meat that we can cut off, clean the nasal cavity, got all the brain matter out, and it's ready for its second boil. One thing I also wanted to mention is sometimes the hair and the hide can be really tough to get out from underneath the bases here, where the bases meet the skull. So what I do is I just get a flathead screwdriver and I just go around and work my way all the way around the antler, all the way around the base, just kind of doing a twisting motion and pulling it at the same time. And as you can see, it gets it really quite nice. He's ready for a second boil. So this boil, as I said, I'm going to try to keep it around 160 degrees. Again, I'm going to add a little Dawn this time, the water. And again, no science to that, just till you feel it's enough. One quick reminder, when you're doing the pressure washer thing, don't wear your Sunday Finest. As you can see, it becomes a bit messy. The meat is all gone, completely cleaned off. And so now we will start the whitening process. When it comes to the whitening process, I use this Redken product. It's a high concentrate of hydrogen peroxide, which is what you want. This particular product is a gel, so I just pour it on it all over the skull. And then I could use a paintbrush and kind of make sure I hit all the spots. Obviously, the higher the concentrate of hydrogen peroxide, maybe the whiter it'll come, but this product works good for me. There you have it. It's all covered up. I've brushed it in all the nooks and crannies, and we'll wait and see what the final results look like. The skull sat for 48 hours, which is about 12 hours more than I typically do, but work got busy and I wasn't able to get at it real quick. So I'm gonna just give it a quick rinse now, rinse off any of the remnants of the hydrogen peroxide, and I'll show you the finished product. Really pleased. And there you go. Really, really happy with how it turned out. One last thing to do, and that's put it on the wall. If you found this video to be helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel. Be safe in the field.